Hello, guys. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our fourth edition of our Metaverse School. Today, we have Philip from the Crypto Blades team, and we are really excited to have him on board here. So, just to give you guys a brief, so sorry for the delay. Just I would like to apologize to the community for being 2 minutes late. So, let's just get started with tonight's session. So, this is the fourth edition of the Metaverse School in the Metaverse Premier League, and we bring you industry leaders every week. So we already had three projects every Friday. And in this series, you learn the basic concepts of the metaverse and how you can leverage the GameFi ecosystem to earn yield rewards just by playing games. So we have Philip tonight with us, and he's the CEO of the Crypto Blades team, and he's like a highly respected figure in the blockchain gaming industry. So just try to pay attention, and we have a lot of rewards for you guys. We have $1,000 worth of rewards, and you just need to ask some questions and follow and fill a quiz in the end, and we'll just pick up the winners after that. So without wasting much time, I'll introduce Philip to our stream. And yeah, hello Philip. Hi, how are you doing?
Hey, Sarthik, great. Yeah, great to be here.
All right, Philip. So we are live, and people are very eager to get started with our session. So let's just start with a basic introduction, Philip. Uh, can you just introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm the CEO of Riveted Games, the developer of Crypto Blades. Personally, I've been developing games since 2014 with our company, Riveted Games, where we've published on multiple different platforms, Steam, self-published, commissioned, things like that. And over the past year, we've been focused entirely on blockchain technology and play-to-earn gaming. So in January of this year, we started development on Crypto Blades and we released it in May of this year. We were one of the very first play-to-earn games on Binance Smart Chain and are still going strong today. So we've had a ton of different updates that we've been able to do over the course of the past year. And as most people know, we definitely had a big boom in July, and then with that, a lot of other play-to-earn games have kind of joined into the arena as well. And some of those have kind of come and gone, but we're still going strong, and we still have a very active user base. Our Discord community is thriving and growing. And I would say that, as a company, one of the things that we've been focusing the most on is just keeping our community informed, keeping them engaged, continuing to develop feedback from them, and releasing a lot of services too. So on top of obviously play to earn gaming, some of the services and technology that we've developed are NFT bridging. So released an NFT bridge, which actually will bridge on-chain data as well as metadata. We have worked on kind of a marketplace 2.0, and we've also done quite a lot with developing additional systems such as raids and our upcoming player versus player. So anyways, that's kind of a little bit about the project and where we're at.
All right, so that sounds very, very interesting, and everything around metaverse is like going crazy. So this is a very new concept for many people. So can you just let our audience know what exactly the metaverse is, and how would you define it in your own words?
Sure. So I think the metaverse is most easily defined as a place for multiple different kind of disparate ideas to be standardized and coalesced into one space. So, for example, with the metaverse project that we're working on, which we've called Omnis, we are focusing specifically on blockchain gaming. And in our case, what we're doing is creating standards for any NFT to be represented in our 3D world, and to create different standards for any project to be able to integrate that. So the other piece of the metaverse, I believe, is that it by definition is decentralized. It cannot be owned by one particular company or entity. And so even the metaverse that we're developing will be able to be integrated and updated with the help of any project that wants to be a part of it. So with that, we've released some teasers, and I released a video last week that kind of went over what our vision for that is, and with that vision is us incorporating some additional projects and showing what it may look like for their NFTs to be represented in a 3D space, whereas traditionally they've been kind of 2D assets. And so, and that doesn't have to be 3D, the metaverse, that's just the medium that we're proposing. But in general, the metaverse can and should be decentralized, and it can and should integrate multiple disparate ideas all under one umbrella.
All right, so this is one of my favorite questions because every time we have a new host, everybody has some different definition of the metaverse, but yours was really interesting to know. So, speaking on this topic, what do you foresee being the future of metaverse projects, and how might they change the lives of a typical user?
Yeah, I think the main way that it will change the lives of our everyday user is through democratizing data and bringing it back into the hands of the people who are creating it. So up until now, really all data in not only blockchain, obviously, but outside of blockchain specifically, is centralized and owned by third-party entities, whether that's Google or Facebook, aka Meta, or you name it. That data is owned by them, and they may let you export some of it, but you don't own it. And so when I kind of think about the metaverse and bringing data and putting it back in the hands of people, that's why I say it has to be synonymous with decentralization, because it's just not possible to offer something in the shape of giving people data if someone else still has their hands on it. And what that looks like is other companies taking that data
Sorry, guys, I think he has a technical glitch. We'll just wait for a minute and wait for him to come back on. Till the time, you can just shoot up some questions that we can pick up later in the session, and you can just. Oh, so he's back.
Yeah, sorry
Hi,
about that. It
Philip.
looks like there was a little bit of an internet issue. Yeah, sorry about that. A little bit of an internet issue there. But kind of picking back up on what I was saying before is when it comes to how it will change the lives of users, the metaverse specifically takes all of this data and standardizes it. And for users, what that means is this data that previously belonged to third parties now is directly in the hands of users. Take one of those examples, like I mentioned, of Meta or Facebook. All of the data that you've compiled over the course of your entire lifetime on that platform can and will be at the will of one centralized entity. Now, NFTs are designed to be able to store data and transfer ownership of that data. And one of the key ways that I see that benefiting everyday users is, what if Facebook was a decentralized entity? And what if that data did belong to the users who created it? You would be able to export your entire Facebook or digital persona into a single NFT, which wouldn't be dependent on Facebook or some other entity like that to host it. Anybody could actually extend that standard and support that standard. And now what you have is the user's data, which can be plugged into any front end, but the data itself is owned by you, and nobody else can steal that or profit from it unless you give them permission to. And the same goes for blockchain gaming and NFTs. We have done that in the flavor of giving players ownership of their characters, in the same vein, or a similar explanation is, in World of Warcraft, Blizzard owns your World of Warcraft character, and they could at any time delete that. They could ban you, etc. And all that work that you've ever put into that game is now subject to the whims of one centralized entity. However, if that existed as an NFT, you could pull that data back out and plug it into any other front end that supports that standard. And that's the beauty of Omnis, is you can take all of these different games and incorporate that standard, and whether those projects do it or some open source community does it or we do it, because we're going to be helping facilitate that for some projects too. now that NFT and that data can be incorporated into a whole nother world, and you can pick up right where you left off. So that's how it's going to change the lives of everyday people, whether it's in gaming or elsewhere.
All right, so that is pretty interesting. You are talking about data and keeping the ownership of your own data in your hands is very important. The whole blockchain ecosystem surrounds around that, and you mentioned that this is where we differentiate from normal games that are not on the blockchain. So speaking on that, like many people would be familiar what is the difference between play to earn games or the gamify ecosystem from the traditional games that we have. But can you please elaborate on this point?
Sure. Yeah, I talked about that a little bit in that last example, but the main idea and the main principle is that instead of simply paying to play a game and experience that, you can instead pay for a kind of entry set of data. That initial investment is actually something that can potentially be recouped based on there being support for either that NFT or that game. Because one of the beauties too is let's say one day Crypto Blades dies, it's no more. And we have all of these Crypto Blades characters, NFTs and swords and everything. We have actually almost 5 million NFTs that have been minted in Crypto Blades. Anybody could take those NFTs and say, hey, we're sorry that this happened, but we actually are going to be utilizing those NFTs and giving you some additional functionality in this game. And that's the beauty of it, is that data that belongs to those people is extensible and usable outside of Crypto Blades. And it's even something that we're actively developing on too, because kind of since we've launched our game, a number of very similar games have kind of come out, and many people have lost a lot of money on their initial investment, assuming that those NFTs have no value, right? However, a project like ours that's healthy, stable, long-term, can take those NFTs and say, hey, we're sorry that this happened in this other game. We're actually going to allow you to stake some of those NFTs and pump up your rewards within Crypto Blades. So we're going to be announcing more about that, but that's what people can expect how they can expect us to kind of play a part in that specifically. We want to be leading by example and showing people that so much more can be done with these NFTs, even if the original game that you intended to use it with is now dead and gone.
Yeah, so that is a lot of information process, and like I'm really glad that you have some announcements that you want to share with the community also. But just to come back to a point, you mentioned Omnis in your previous answer. Can you just tell us what exactly is Omnis? I think I saw an announcement recently that the Crypto Blades team just came out with Omnis. So what exactly is that?
Yeah, so Omnis is our metaverse solution, which we're developing in partnership with a number of different companies. One of which is Improbable.io. So they develop server infrastructure to be able to host thousands of different people all in one space. And they've released some proof of concepts. One of them is called Scavengers. So anybody who's listening, you can go look at Improbable.io Scavengers, take a look at some of the videos that they put up. It's truly amazing what they're doing, because traditionally in online gaming, even traditional gaming, you can only have maybe 100 people in one zone before they have to start doing things like instancing or sharding or anything like that. And this technology actually allows us to create a metaverse experience that can host thousands of people all in one space. Like if we wanted to have an esports coliseum, which, by the way, it would be hosted on the lands that we're selling through our website. So all of our NFT lands that people either own now or can purchase are able to host these kinds of things and potentially generate extra revenue through Omnis. But you can build things like coliseums and host esports. You could build out an entire expo or convention for that anybody can do it with the tools that we're going to be providing people. Essentially, it's a framework to integrate any and all blockchain technology through this 3D interactive online experience. And in addition to that, we're partnering with Volmi Games, who has done a lot of the assets for Bethesda or Elder Scrolls, as most people would recognize. And so we're trying to create a really AAA quality 3D experience for people to enjoy their NFTs. And And as I mentioned, on our YouTube channel, the CryptoBlades YouTube channel, you can see where I kind of explain a little bit more detail about that, as well as show some of the assets that we've developed so far. It's just an early look, but you can kind of see, especially if you're an existing CryptoBlades player, you'll notice some of the players which up until now have only been experienced in 2 dimensions. You can now see them participating in a raid, earning different NFTs. We show different shields and swords and trinkets and things like that they earn from the raid boss. And so, this idea is very quickly coming to life.
Oh wow! So a lot of things that are going on with the entire project. But I still have some confusion between the 2 projects that you have. Like one is CryptoBlades and one is CryptoBlades Kingdom. Like what is the difference between those 2? Can you please just elaborate on that?
Yeah, so CryptoBlades Kingdoms, you can think of it like how when Valve released Half-Life, they released it on the Steam platform. And the Steam platform is essentially a place that supports multiple different kinds of games, right? So in our case, Omnis and our NFT lands are what host our metaverse. And CryptoBlades Kingdoms is kind of the very first game that we're creating in connection with that metaverse. It's actually a 2-dimensional game, but the beauty of it is that we're taking the NFT lands that we've sold to people and are allowing them to create these kingdoms where they can interact in a more community-driven and player versus player way. Whereas CryptoBlades, the existing game, is very much a single-player game up until we release our PvP module, which will be going into testnet very soon. And we're actually giving real rewards for our testnet testing. So if anybody wants to come back and play around on the testnet, it's completely free, but we're giving real skill rewards to the winners in that. But that being said, CryptoBlades is very much a single player experience. CryptoBlades Kingdoms is very much a multiplayer experience within that metaverse. And then Omnis, you can think of as the overarching platform, kind of like Steam as the platform.
Yeah, so like very interesting. You can earn real rewards just playing by the test, and that is the power of like this community, this whole crypto community. It's because when you get more involved with any project, you get rewarded, but you're rewarding people for just using the testnet. So that is something that is not usually done. Uh, yeah, coming on to our
Yeah.
next question. Can you just let us know how CryptoBlades is different from all of the tens of projects that are being listed every day on different exchanges?
Sure. How Kingdoms is different, you said?
Yeah, like
Yeah. So
what pops out in CryptoBlades?
yeah, sure. So CryptoBlades Kingdoms is basically an extension of the entire world of CryptoBlades. And one of the main pieces of it too is, when we developed CryptoBlades, that was entirely funded by myself. And we did host an IDO. We had some initial token holders, but we was kind of what I would consider the MVP or the first playable version, right? With CryptoBlades Kingdoms, we've had some really amazing partners jump on board. We have Animoca Brands, we have Master Ventures, we have GD10, OIG, tons of really great partners in not only the NFT gaming space, but just in the crypto space. And with that, we have many, many more resources to build out a truly amazing experience. And one of the nice things about it too is we're putting gameplay first and rewards second, in the sense that we're one of the first games where it's not just some giant race to get the rewards and then, after that, there's no other reason to play. This is a truly enjoyable AAA game experience that can be played on the blockchain entirely and supported through all web browsers and dApp browsers. And the idea is that it's entirely community driven too. So you're going to be residing on NFT lands, building out a kingdom over time, developing armies, interacting with the world around you, taking control of other lands around you, and I think it's going to be a much more exciting experience than the CryptoBlades that we have now, for example.
Amazing. That is good development that's going on. So enough with just like boring talk with no actual gameplay that we can see. Can you just show us the entire project, and can you just take us through the actual dApp and how a person can get started from scratch and they can play, they can do raids and they can buy skill and everything?
Yeah, sure. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, so I'll make sure I'm on the right network here. All right. So when you first enter CryptoBlades, you're initially shown either some of the characters you own, or you can recruit a character. And so by recruiting a character, what that means is you are creating your initial NFT, and that NFT is going to forever be yours. It's tradable on our marketplace. It's tradable on external marketplaces as well, as it follows the ERC 721 standard. And the character is actually your kind of entry point into being able to perform battles and things like that. Additionally, we have what we call a blacksmith, which is where players can craft different weapons. They can take a look at other equipment that they have. So these are some of my 5-star swords, which are the strongest weapons in CryptoBlades. And I kind of keep a collection of them just for different purposes. For example, I love the weapons that have all matching stats, which our community has called pure. This one is kind of a relic because one of the original features of the game was reforging, which would increase the stats of a weapon, but it would burn another NFT. So that's one of the ways that we maintain value of the NFTs. However, this mechanic is actually much different in the game now. And so you can see it has a strength over 400. And so I paid quite a lot of skill tokens to get this because I believe it's one of the most powerful weapons in the game. And then there's other fun ones too, like this one has a palindrome ID 10001, and it was actually the very first 5-star that I crafted on my own. And you can see I definitely enjoy crafting NFTs. I have over 600 on Binance Smart Chain alone. We're actually on 5 different chains, and we have an NFT bridge which can move back and forth between any of them. So we have people who might be originally on EcoChain or OEC and say, oh, what's going on over on Binance Smart Chain? I want to take advantage of maybe some sort of demo that's over there, something like that, or promotion. Additionally, we have raids. So raids are a way to take your character and instead of fight other enemies, you can earn raid drops. So here you can see some of the drops that exist are 2 to 5-star swords, a raid trinket. We have other kinds of junk that you can burn. We have dust, which you use to reforge. And what you do is you pick a character and you pick a weapon and you sign up for the next raid. And when that raid completes, based on the power that you pushed forward out into defeating that raid boss, you'll get different kinds of bonuses. And so I think our most we ever had was over 100,000 characters on a single raid. Additionally, and one of the more key features is our combat. And so one of the ways that we've improved stability of the game is we have a certain amount of allocation that we give out to players every single hour so that we don't have to worry about different time zones and things like that. And whenever you have a reset in those amounts of allowances, you can go ahead and battle and earn different skill tokens. Or additionally, one of our most important new features is called our treasury. And you can actually earn different kinds of tokens through the treasury. And I think on this chain, we don't have one yet. I might have a screenshot somewhere, but you can select different partnered projects, which will have different kinds of multipliers. So if you can potentially earn even more tokens if you were to use one of our partner projects. Project Oasis is one that we recently ran through this. And then, of course, we have staking of your rewards, where you can stake your different tokens, whether it's king or skill, to earn an APY. And then, of course, we have our NFT market, where you can search for different characters, you can search for different weapons, and things like that. So that's kind of a brief overview, and then a little bit of a look at what's coming too. I'll go ahead and share a different screen here. So we have Crypto Blades 2.0 coming out. And this is kind of the interface that's currently in development, where you can see some of the characters, which we've named after some of our developers and things like that. You can see the player versus player leaderboard, where you can see everybody who in the brand new player versus player arena that we're releasing. There's a reward pool for whoever is at the top of the leaderboard for their level bracket. You can stake your different weapons and shields in order to enter the arena and try to either defeat other players or defend those attacks. This is kind of what it looks like when you're preparing to make a duel, and you can wager a certain amount of skill, and it'll also list how much you've earned over time. And one of the nice things about this is it's not based on stamina. It's based entirely on how much you're wagering. And then, of course, at the end, you'll see whether you won the duel or you lost the duel. And these are just some examples of some of the additional skins that we're going to be releasing to people. And this is the very first look that people are seeing of some of these. This is our mage. This is the mercenary. This is our archer. And then, of course, another feature that we're developing is an entirely crypto-only merchandise store. And this is something that we're obviously going to be releasing entirely for our project. However, we're also going to be opening this up to partner projects in the future as a white label service for us to provide another utility for any project tokens to be able to sell their own merchandise for their own tokens, creating utility. So that's just kind of an example of some of the things that are to come that we're really excited about, and hopefully those leaks are well received by the people who are watching. And they always love when we leak different stuff, and I love to share that for the very first time here with you.
Sorry, I was muted. So yeah, so this is pretty cool. We can buy merch that people are really passionate about some projects, and they usually go crazy about where can they get their hands on some of the stuff. So this is pretty cool, I guess. I just have one follow-up question for this. What is the minimum NFTs, and what is the minimum skill that is required to get started with this game? What would a minimum initial cost for a new player be to get started with Crypto
Yeah,
Blades?
sure. Yep. So right now, a brand new level 1 character only costs 0.47 skill, which at this time is roughly $6. So really low and barrier to entry. You can buy characters that have already been leveled up quite a lot for just over 1 skill, sometimes up to 2 skill if you get a very high level character. You can buy a 5-star blade for roughly 1 to 2 skills. And so it's fairly easy, and a fairly short ROI as well for players who want to get started either with an entire team of high-level characters, or if you just want to check it out and start earning. All those options are available.
All right, and as our viewers know, we already have a campaign going on, the Lucky 100 campaign, in which we are basically giving gaming scholarships to cover all of the starting initial costs across 6 different games over a period of 6 weeks. We already are on our fourth project, that is you guys, and all of your costs, 100% of it will be covered by Binance Smart Chain along with Crypto Blades. And players who are eager to learn and they don't want to they don't want to invest any money to get started, or they don't have any money to get started with this, or they think it's too risky, and they are really passionate about the project and really want to get started, they can probably apply through this link. I'll put the link in the comment section right now in just a minute, and you can probably do some of the tasks. You just need to follow our socials and be a good community member, and you'll be eligible to win rewards. Not only this, like one person each week will win a premium NFT, and the premium NFT will be sponsored by the Crypto Blades team. And like you can probably make serious rewards when you're playing with a like a very premium NFT in the game. So that can really help a person who is passionate about the project, right? So yeah, this was, I think, if Philip, do you have anything to add to this segment, or can we move on to our next segment? That will be, we can probably take some questions from our community, and like 5 people, they will be selected. You can select 5 questions from the comment section, and you can answer them, and those 5 people will win rewards. And I'll share a form. Please guys, pay attention to this, because we had some earlier feedback that people weren't able to properly communicate me their addresses. So I'll be dropping a form in this comment section, and the winners can fill this form, and we'll contact the winners individually who have won, and who the questions have been selected for them. So all right, Philip, you can let me know if you find any interesting questions from the chat, and I can display it on screen.
Yeah, sure. And remind me from StreamYard how I can see the chat from the community. Oh, okay, I see in comments. Got it. All right, I'll give them a minute to start coming through.
All right, so they have already shot a lot of questions, so you can probably scroll up and see.
All right, cool. What are some other possible tokens that you can earn through the treasury or multi-farm? And that's from PH Daraki. Yeah, thanks for the question. So we can add any kind of ERC20 token to this. Right now, if anybody wants to submit something to us, they can contact us directly at contact@cryptoblades.finance. And any of those who want to offer that and basically receive, an entire marketing push from our team, where we already have tons of players who love play to earn games, et cetera. We're going to definitely prioritize any kind of NFT game or play to earn game. But we have quite a few of other projects in our pipeline already that we're excited to share with you. And any project that passes our due diligence, we'll be able to have their own project listed directly on the treasury. So this is an exciting way for us to sort of gamify and expand the scope of the platform to support many other play to earn games. All right, and actually another great question, which is right above that by Sanyam Sharma, is you have mentioned on your website that CryptoBlades runs almost entirely on the blockchain. So how is it advantageous in comparison to others off-chain? So one of the main things is CryptoBlades grew to popularity because we were able to onboard from 5,000 users to over 500,000 users in a span of 2 weeks. And the reason that scalability was able to happen was because the back end was entirely 100% done on the blockchain. And while there are still scaling issues with the blockchain, that's a much different concept than if we were trying to support 500,000 players on one centralized server. We would have gone down almost immediately. We would have gone down before we ever hit 10,000. On top of that, because we're not having our own layer one, you're also not susceptible to the project losing steam, losing traction, and not being able to support the layer one anymore. Because even a centralized layer one is still potentially an issue if there is not global reliability and availability of people who are willing to validate transactions, et cetera. And so having it completely on-chain protects your investment and your assets. All right. All right, here's another one. Are you now ready with the huge volume of players that might play Crypto Blades Kingdoms, just like what happened in Crypto Blades? Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you who aren't aware, who maybe haven't come back to the project in a while, our reward system is now stable and reliable, and we have an expected return where players are earning on the game daily. We also have a very healthy treasury that has, for example, if we were to have zero scale income, which is most likely not the case. We have thousands of skill that we're taking in every day. If we were to have zero skill income, we have months of reserves as through additional revenue streams that we've been able to capitalize on, and that's what separates us from pretty much any other play to earn game that's out there right now. Is we're not only reliant on skill that's coming in through the game. We're also generating revenue through services, through our marketplace, through our NFT bridge, soon through PvP, through other treasury management that we're doing on the business side. And so with that, we're consistently doing buybacks. And so I wanted to also announce today to everybody who's watching, we're going to be infusing the rewards pool on Binance Smart Chain with 10,000 skills so that we can continue to have a consistent flow of rewards out to everybody. And so that'll be happening shortly after this call. All right, another one. From Vansh Sharma, non-crypto gaming community is still not willing to shift their space due to poor gaming experience. How does Crypto Blades plan to tackle this major issue in the crypto gaming space? Again, really great question. And that's essentially what spawned Crypto Blades Kingdoms, where we said, hey, look, we did some pretty cool stuff with this initial Crypto Blades that we created. However, what if we get all of these AAA partners on board and start creating an experience that's just undeniably fun and has rewards on top of it? And I think that's what traditional gaming's worst nightmare really is, and why they're starting to push out media all over the place. For example, if you were to just Google right-click NFT, you're going to find all kinds of gaming articles pushed out by executives at the highest level to all of this gaming press that's trying to tell traditional gamers that NFTs aren't safe, that you can simply right-click an NFT and now it's yours, because they don't understand blockchain, or because they do understand blockchain and they realize it's a threat. And so they're trying to undermine it. And the thing that we need to do is form a grassroots movement for traditional gamers to see, wow, there's actually value in being able to get your World of Warcraft character back from Blizzard, or there's actually value in having an NFT, which maybe in most cases is only going to cost a minting price from gas and not even cost a whole lot in an additional token or something like that. Because what we've seen is things with Ubisoft, they've released an NFT and it went horribly wrong because it truly was just a cash grab. And that's the other thing that makes people not really trust it, is they think NFT, they think cash grab, because of all this media that's been pushed out all over the place. And so it's our job to inform people through showing projects like Crypto Blades Kingdoms, where we have great gaming first and earnings second, or at least being able to recoup your initial investment and enjoy the ownership of your own data. All right, I'm going to scroll down a bit. All right, how will Crypto Blades Metaverse and Omnis change the economy and overall game of Crypto Blades? That's by Egg Salad. Great name, by the way. One of the reasons why Omnis came into being was the initial vision for Crypto Blades was that it would be a 3D experience, where the 3D piece is not necessarily on-chain, but the earnings piece would be on-chain. And what we found was if we could generalize that and solve that problem, not only for us, but for other projects, and the sky is really the limit. And so what we want to do is essentially be a Roblox of crypto gaming, but with AAA quality, and be extensible so that anybody can make their own games and functionality within Omnis and take advantage of these services that we're providing, because we're putting up all of the upfront costs for the development of assets. We're putting up the upfront costs for the development of the infrastructure. We're talking a whole team of AAA backend engineers that are going to be working over the next months to even just create the proof of concept. These kind of multi-million-dollar developments are simply not possible for the starting blockchain game that's out there. And if we have any way of being able to overcome traditional gaming, we're going to need to provide that level of quality to all of blockchain. And that's why we're going to be opening it up to any project who wants to integrate it. How much time do we have? Should I do one more?
We have covered 5 questions. I think we can reward 6. It's not a big issue. You can probably, if you like any question, because we have a lot of questions today. People are very enthusiastic. That's great to see.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll do one more. Do you have a good? And this is by Hans Ubales. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. Do you have a good burning mechanism on your game to prevent the inflationary and deflationary of the token? And if yes, what are those? So the burning mechanism that we have currently is for NFTs specifically, where our swords can actually be burned into other swords in order to make them more powerful. What we're also working on now is the burning of characters into souls. And so those characters will be able to increase the power of other characters, which will be beneficial for not having to do so many fights, for example, in a day. If currently we have players who have lots of different teams of characters. However, if you wanted to simply earn more, but with less work, you can burn them into another character, which sort of removes them from the economy, but also gives you an extra earning potential there. And as far as the token, we have a limited supply on skill. We have only 1 million skill, and the token is technically burned every time it gets sent somewhere that it can't be retrieved, like the skill token contract, which happens from time to time, or things like that. And so we don't necessarily have a desire to burn it, because our particular economic method is to buy back the token, which increases the value of it for everybody, and push it back into the rewards pool. And so that's why it's exciting that we're buying back 10,000 skill tokens and pushing them into the rewards pool, because that's just helpful for the economy as a whole. And I'll kind of leave it there then.
Yeah. So I think that is very conclusive. I think you answered the questions beautifully, and I think the people who had queries, these like help them with their queries. And for questions, probably they can join our campaign through this link. I have pinned this message, and they can follow Crypto Blades on all of their socials, and they can ask questions there. So all of your moderators would be happy to take up all of these questions. So wrapping up, we are coming on to our last segment of the night, which is the quiz segment. So I'll be dropping link to a quiz right now, and we'll be picking up winners. The first few people who answer, there are 5 questions, 5 MCQ questions, and the first 5 people to answer these questions correctly will be rewarded. And the winners will be communicated on our Discord. I'll put the link of the Discord in the chat box shortly. So I'll be posting the link for our quiz right here and also in our Discord simultaneously, so you can join us. And I'll give you guys 2-3 minutes to join the Discord community. I'll just drop a link here. So you can join this link, and I can share the link with the Crypto Blades team also, so they can post it on their Twitter, so we can get more participants. So we will be posting the link to on all of our socials, and we'll give you guys 2-3 minutes to join the Discord community, and we'll get started with that, and we'll wrap up the session, and we'll close the form link in 1 or 2 hours, and the winners will be contacted on Discord. So please, guys, be a good member and be a good community member and be active, and just, yeah. So I
Yeah,
am
that sounds
sending you.
great, and we're happy to push out that message as well and get people involved. This is the more closely that Binance Smart Chain and Crypto Blades work together, the more we both benefit. It's not a zero-sum game. We can. I think with this partnership, 1 + 1 definitely equals 3, and it's the best for everybody when we can collaborate like this. So I definitely encourage my community to participate, whether you're in it for the rewards or not. I think there's a huge benefit to being able to follow Binance Smart Chain and everything that they're doing.
All right, guys. So I am dropping the link in just a minute, and we can conclude tonight's session there. And I'll also be dropping the link in the Discord, and at the roughly the same time, I have sent you the link. You can probably check it out. Philip. So you can check the group, and you can share it in your community as well. All right, guys.
Great.
So time for the last segment. Just copying and dropping the link here. Okay, guys. Get ready. I'm just dropping the link in 2 seconds. Here it is. May the best person win. Also drop the link in the Discord channel. And I think, Philip, it was really nice having you. We can conclude the session here, and people can take the time and fill up the quiz, and we'll get back to them and we'll announce the winners on our Discord.
Awesome.
It
Sounds great.
was
Yeah,
really
thanks a lot
nice
for having
having
me,
you,
Sarthik.
Philip. It was an amazing session. I loved it thoroughly.
Yeah, it was really great for me too. So thanks a lot. I'm looking forward to the next one. Have a good one.
Good night. Bye bye. Thank you so much.